Hello and welcome, everybody. My name is Space Muffin, and this is the Void Playground, the podcast where we talk about a lot of things, from multi-tools to Star Wars to Harry Potter to everything, basically. So we are joined by JD. JD, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good. We have the man, the myth, the legend, Nameless One. Nameless, how are you doing today?
Pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing wonderful. And then, of course, we do have Jumpman, who is our expert on today's topic, which is Harry Potter. Jumpman, how you doing today?
Oh, good. Excited for a Harry Potter podcast.
So the first thing that we talked about with you, I think one time, was we talked about Hogwarts Legacy. We were talking about open world games and things like that. You'd kind of started off, maybe, you hadn't really gotten super duper deep into the game. Now that you've played the game, you've beaten the game, tell us your experience with Hogwarts Legacy before we get into
It it was amazing. It was definitely the best story of Harry Potter that I've experienced since the original books.
Wow, that good.
It's the amount of content, the detail that was put into the whole thing. The story, like the ending is great. I'm gonna try not to spoil it.
Yeah, please don't.
Yeah,
JD, you also, we were talking on that podcast. I know you haven't beaten the game yet, but what's your experience been like since we last talked about it?
Oh my god, the experience has been great. The gameplay again is amazing. For me, I am about halfway done with the storyline. I'm slowly just working my way through the game because I want to take my time and go through, try to finish as much side quests as possible. That's why it's taking me a while to finish it. But yeah, that's gameplay is awesome. Like the world, it's so immersive. Really, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's really interesting, just kind of what they can do in games. You know what I mean? It's just like when I was a kid. I remember the first two games, and they were fun in my opinion. But like this is just like, a Harry Potter's, short of like multiplayer. This is like one of the. I heard this is like one of the best Harry Potter games, right?
Mm-hmm.
it is. Yeah, even without the multiplayer, it's still the best Harry Potter video game.
Yeah,
Well, there we go. What else do we have? We have Hogwarts. No. I mean that we're talking about Hogwarts Legacy, but we have what's it called? The Lego series. I think we talked about that last time. So, that's just interesting to me. So, guys, let's get right into it. Who here has read the books? Nameless, have you read the books?
I've read some of them, yes, but I know what all the books are about.
Okay, good. This is excellent. So let's go through a little brief history lesson. So, before Harry Potter, before J.K. Rowling, books really weren't. I mean, books were cool. The closest thing was Lord of the Rings, right? You had Lord of the Rings, back in the day. That was like the big behemoth series of its day. Obviously, you had the Wheel of Time series, in the 90s, and obviously Stephen King's Dark Tower series, and a bunch of other series too that kind of shaped kind of where we are today. But Harry Potter, it was like a cultural like storm.
Phenomenon.
It was phenomenon. Yeah, it was like Star Wars. You know what I mean? In a way, it had that big of an impact to where action figures, movies, candy, all that fun stuff. You know what I mean? So let's talk about the books real quick. So, Jumpman, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. When did you first read that book?
I didn't actually read the first book until, unfortunately, after the second movie came out. By the time the second movie came out, I was like, okay, I got to start reading the books. That was my experience with Harry Potter. When the first Harry Potter movie came out, I was like 12 years old.
Oh wow. JD, what about you? What's your first experience reading The Sorcerer's Stone?
So kind of similar to Jumpman, I didn't read the first book until after the first movie came out. After I watched the first movie, then I found out that it was a book, and then I went to the library, I checked it out, and I read it. It was amazing. And then afterwards, I read the other ones. But yeah, I didn't watch it until after the first one came out.
Nameless one. What about you?
So I guess we all kind of have the same situation because besides me watching the first and second movie, my dad introduced me to the books. And so then that's how I got into the series and the books is just by taking time reading them with my dad.
So my introduction to Harry Potter was my brother was actually reading the books, and it was pretty big. Like when I had to be in middle school. It was pretty big, and I started reading the first book, and then the movie came out. I'm like, well, I don't want to like spoil everything, so to be honest, guys, I hadn't read the Harry Potter books until like 3 or 4 years ago.
It's fine.
Like, I read it with adult eyes. I'll put it that way. And, but yeah, like, it's just interesting, like to me, because that first book, there's really no other book like it in the Harry Potter franchise, in the sense that we're really seeing the world through Harry's eyes. Like Harry's new to Hogwarts, we're new to Hogwarts, and it was just really interesting, and the book came out in 97. Which I think most of our audience weren't even born. And I mean, I was like 5 years old at the time when the book came out. So I didn't really have a grasp or understanding of a lot of this stuff. But I remember watching the movie and just being like, this is cool. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know. So moving on to Chamber of Secrets, 1998, Jumpman. And we're going to go over like the plots and all that later on, but we're just talking about kind of our general feelings. How did you feel about Chamber of Secrets?
I enjoyed it.
Was it a situation where you like I read the first one, I have to read the second one, or like how did you?
Yeah. Well, the thing was the it wasn't until after the second movie came out when I started reading the books. So I read the first book, the second book, and then the third book. And I read the third book before the third movie came out. That was so from the third movie on, I had already read the book prior to seeing that movie.
See, I want to talk to somebody. There was like a weird like experience or not a weird experience, but like Barnes and Noble, like people would be around the block, like waiting for the next Harry Potter book. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I've actually been to the midnight release at my local Barnes and Noble for the 5th, 6th, and 7th books.
Oh wow! So what was that experience like?
Really crowded. It was really stuffy inside the building because they didn't have the AC going because for whatever reason at midnight. But I remember, I think it was for the 5th or the 6th book. I remember them playing the Goblet of Fire film on a projector in Barnes and Noble. So I thought that was cool. But no, it was crowded. It was cram packed. Like, yeah.
So, how do you feel about Chamber of Secrets? We're in Hogwarts. We've already had a year of Hogwarts, and now there's, to me, it's like a mystery, kind of like almost like a murder mystery type situation. JD, we'll start with you. How do you feel?
I actually liked it because, my favorite genre is actually mystery. That's why for me, like Sherlock Holmes and what is it, like Scooby-Doo, all those books, like mystery books type books, like I'm very into it. So like I kind of was like, oh, okay, this is kind of like a murder mystery thing. What who is responsible, who is the murderer, or like who's the culprit, type of thing. So yeah, I really liked it. But to be honest, I like the other books better. The
interesting.
Like the newer, like the 4, sorry, not 4, 5, 6, 7, because it got darker. That. And we'll talk about
Chamber of Secrets is pretty dark, man.
No, 1 and 2 seem like a little like kiddish a little bit.
Oh, interesting.
But then after like the Prisoner of Azkaban, like starting Prisoner of Azkaban, it started getting a little more darker and darker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, okay, all right. Nameless one, what about you? How do you feel about Chamber of Secrets?
I definitely agree with what JD is saying, because the first 2 or 3 books and movies were a little bit childish because it was more an introduction to what's going to happen in the future, I felt like. And then going on from those chapters, we were more getting introduced to what's happening now. And like, of course, it has to get darker because it has to introduce the villain somehow. It can't be childish and introduce the villain, because then you won't take the villain seriously.
Well, yeah. No, I hear you. Sorry, what were you saying? Continue.
Oh, I said, because that's how usually movies do that, is they usually go from playful to dark. The dark side is to introduce the villain. The playful side is just to introduce the main people, the heroes, whatever.
Yeah. So, I mean, for me personally, we're going to bounce around now like a little bit, with the movies and things like that. But Chamber of Secrets is my favorite movie and my favorite book. But I think it's the most traumatizing of the movies. That's just me personally. There's
the spiders.
There's the spider scene. That's nightmare fuel.
What, you hate spiders?
And then there's... Well, I mean, I think like anyone in the situation that Harry and Ron were in the Dark Forest would probably be afraid of spiders after that. You know what I mean? And then
why couldn't have been butterflies?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then the if you're afraid of snakes, Chamber of Secrets is pretty frightening. So it was kind of a double whammy. Now, granted, I watched the movie in theaters, but I was just thinking about that the other day. Like we not the other day, but like couple months ago, Jumpman, we watched the extended version of Chamber of Secrets, right?
Yes.
So that was interesting. But this is like kind of traumatizing, like this giant, realistic looking spider. You know what I mean? So
yeah, and that exact scene, when I was watching that when I was younger, I was like super, super, super scared of spiders. Watching that scene, scared the crap out of me. I was like oh.
Look, I've seen a lot of spider movies. Eight-Legged Freaks. There's Earth versus the Spider. It's not quite as bad as Earth versus the Spider, but like, there's like a Black Mirror episode with like a spider thing. I think Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets is like up there with like, because there's like no, he just comes out and he's just like this. And I think I could be wrong. I think that's done practically. It's like a practical effect in the movie. Aragog or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
So
For
yeah,
me, however, like when I was younger watching that movie, I thought like Spider-Man for some apparent reason. I don't know why I thought of Spider-Man.
I was thinking about that in my head. I just didn't want to say it.
Interesting. Yeah, well, I mean, Spider-Man, the Sam Raimi one, and Chamber of Secrets came out relatively close to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So okay, moving on. Prisoner of Azkaban. Jumpman, how do you feel about the book specifically?
I remember reading Prisoner of Azkaban, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great that Sirius Black was the good guy this whole time, and learning more about who Harry's father is, and learning more about his father's friends, who they were, like getting to know that.
What I like about Prisoner of Azkaban is it really peels back the curtain a little bit more than Chamber of Secrets and Sorcerer's Stone. Like you kind of get like it expands, like you're saying, like the lore and everything like that. I do think it was really great that Sirius Black was the good guy the whole time, or one of the good guys. That was a really great twist, and there was it was like a twist on a twist in a way because yeah. So I mean it was that's pretty cool, and then. We're going to kind of breeze through these. JD, how'd you feel about Prisoner of Azkaban as a book?
Prisoner of Azkaban as a book, I liked it. It was good. Again, like Prisoner of Azkaban, starting Prisoner of Azkaban and going forward, that's when things got a little more dark, and I got a little more interested into the books because of like that, like the mystery, and it got a little bit deeper because it exposed. Again, like what you said, it pulled back the curtain a little bit more. It exposed more of the characters and exposed more of like the backstory of how Harry became to be and everything like that.
So the final 4 books, Goblet of Fire, Order of Phoenix, Half-Blood Prince, Deathly Hallows, Nameless One, like they all kind of have a similar, I mean, obviously Order of the Phoenix is a little bit longer, but they're all longer books. They all they get pretty dark. How do you feel about those last 4 books?
Um, one thing is for sure, those were hard to read because they were so long.
I agree. Especially Order of the
Uh,
Phoenix.
yeah. What was that, like above 300 pages or something?
No, it's well above. It was like
O-
7.
Order 867, something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
860.
I only
Eight,
read half of that and then watched the actual movie. Um, so yeah, like I said earlier, I think the final books are probably the darkest because it goes into what's his name, Voldemort, I think.
Mhm.
And like pretty much everything collapses. Everything falls into ruins. It's like all on Harry Potter to figure out what's going on and stop everyone from getting killed, pretty much.
Mhm.
So it's like, imagine if you were in that exact situation, the pressure would be on.
Yeah. That's a very interesting point that you bring up. John, man, the final 4 books of Harry Potter, how do you feel? What are your thoughts on them?
by the time I got to the 4th book, the length didn't bother me. I was so hooked. I was so hooked into Harry Potter. I was enjoying it all the way through. Like the length did not bother me whatsoever. But it is unfortunate because of when the movies adapted the books, they had to cut even more stuff out because of how long the books were.
So we're going to talk
Yeah.
specifically about that in a little bit. So,
Yeah.
for me personally, like, okay, Goblet of Fire was really good. I
Yes.
really liked Goblet of Fire. I did not like Order of the Phoenix. I'm sorry. I don't like the book. I don't like the movie as much. I'm not saying it's like not watchable. There's obviously some really cool stuff in Order of the Phoenix. I think Dumbledore's army was really cool. I think obviously Voldemort, versus Dumbledore, that was like iconic. You know what I mean? But the book for me was definitely really bloated, and the movie, like you were saying, Jumpman, like right around the 4th book, we started to get like a lot chopped out, like a substantial amount, to where the I mean, you could still understand the story, but like there are certain elements that are just not there, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, what were you gonna say? So
Well,
yeah, keep going.
oh, sorry. Well, the funny thing is for me is I do agree that the 4th book is better than the 5th book, but funny enough, I believe the 5th movie is better than the 4th movie.
Oh, interesting. Very interesting.
Just really, yeah, because the fourth movie was definitely my least favorite of the franchise.
So before we get into the movies, okay, let's do a real quick ranking. We're gonna do this with Jumpman just because he's the most, he's read all of them completely. How would you rank the Harry Potter books from your least favorite to your most favorite?
Oh man, yeah, man. I've never really thought about that too much. They are all so good. Like I was saying, the 5th one I would say is not as good as the 4th book. Like I like I the 4th book might be my favorite, but I don't know. The 6th one was really good, just because
was
you learned a lot about Voldemort's backstory.
You do learn a lot about Voldemort's backstory.
So, and I thought that was really interesting, going into the memories, and they cut out a lot of memories in the film.
Yeah, they did.
So, I mean, gun to my head, I would probably go Chamber of Secrets, then Half-Blood Prince, then Goblet of Fire, then Deathly Hallows, then Prisoner of Azkaban, then Sorcerer's Stone, then Order of the Phoenix. That's me for the books.
Order of the Phoenix is your favorite?
It's my least favorite.
Least favorite.
Least favorite. Okay, so favorite to least favorite.
Yeah.
Okay.
At least that's how I did it. Maybe I said something different otherwise.
You said
JD,
reverse.
JD, do you want to take a crack at it, or how do you feel?
Oh man,
It's okay.
I don't really think about it.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh man, I don't even know. Come back to me.
Okay, so we gotta get into the movies. Okay, we gotta talk about the movies. Yeah. Okay, so let's start off with the Sorcerer's Stone, and let's just go for a little bit of the backstory once again. So, the movies were interesting to me because, like, you have 10 plus years, right, of filmmaking. Literally, actually, no, sorry, not 10 plus years. Literally 10 years of filmmaking from 2001 to 2011 with like this crazy good like ensemble cast. I mean, I would argue that Harry Potter is some of the best casted. It's just really well casted. We talked about this a little bit before, but Jumpman, we're going to jump around here a little bit. Jumpman, we're going to jump. Okay, so do you think it's possible for them, because they're making the new HBO series, or the new Max series as they're calling it, is it even possible, or did they just catch lightning in a bottle with the casting?
I feel like they, I would agree. I feel like they catch lightning in a bottle. I would agree with that. The casting is my biggest concern for the HBO Max TV series.
I mean, I feel like ironically, the weird thing is, I feel like the kids are probably the easiest ones to cast in a way, because, I mean, it obviously the three are they're very important, but I feel like Ray Fiennes as Voldemort, or like Gary Oldman as Sirius Black, like those characters, like it's hard for me to see. Alan Rickman obviously as Snape. Like those ones are like, it's like, how do you get better than that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, pretty much.
Like it's brutal, you know. And the other thing is, like with the films introduced like also like an amazing soundtrack to the John Williams, right?
Yes.
Just blew it out of the water with Harry Potter. So I don't know, it's just interesting to me because it's like, I've seen all the movies in theaters upon their release. JD, what's your experience with the movies?
The movies, I enjoyed them. But when I start reading the books, again, they cut out a lot of the details from the books. Again, it's not really their fault that they had to cut out so much.
Sure.
Because if they put everything from the books into the movies, it will literally be a 5-6 hour movie. But yeah, I did enjoy what they put into the movies, but I wish they elaborate a little bit more on some of the like plot lines and some of the other stuff that they did on the side. But hopefully we get that in the series.
Nameless One, what are your thoughts on the Harry Potter movies? What's your experience with them?
So I was gonna agree with you earlier about the casting of the movies. So I watch a lot of behind the scenes of the movies, and sure. Yeah, the kids were actually easier, and the adults were way harder to do everything. But for the movies themselves, I think I lost my train of thought.
No, it's all good.
For the movies, I just think that they did cut out a lot from the books because, like JD said, there would be like a 5 or 6 hour movie, and I would not want to stay for that.
So this is sorry. Finish your thought.
Oh no, that was the end of it. You're good.
So here's the thing, guys. Okay, hot take here. Okay, and I talked about this kind of last time we were talking about Harry Potter. The show has a lot of potential. Okay, I think the show has a lot of potential to be really good. Obviously, we grew up, as I mentioned before, watching the movie, so we're gonna have a soft spot for the character or the cast and the directing style and the music and all that fun stuff of the movies, you know. And I think that, having said all that, I think like a new generation can be introduced to Harry Potter, and as a series, they have more of an opportunity to make it more accurate to the books, and I think that'd be fun. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, that's what I'm most looking forward to for the TV series.
Absolutely, you know. So here's what's interesting to me. Okay, so the Sorcerer's Stone and the Chamber of Secrets movies, they do take out a couple things, but they obviously don't take out as much, you know, because of the longer books. Jumpman, would you, especially like watching the extended scenes, that we saw. Wasn't that how much longer is Sorcerer's Stone with the extended cut?
The extended version adds about 8 minutes.
8 minutes, and then Chamber of Secrets adds like what, 15? You were saying?
Yeah, 13, 15 minutes. Yeah,
13, somewhere around there. Okay, so for me, like they do a good job at getting the gist, the overarching. Like I said, they leave out a couple of things in those two books. Now, let me ask you this. I mean, obviously, knowing what we know now, it's tough. It's so tough with movies because it's like, what do you put in? What do you take out? You know what I mean? And Prisoner of Azkaban, tonally was very different, right? And I remember Daniel Radcliffe saying, kind of in the reunion, he said something along the lines of like each director kind of like was exactly who they needed at that time, right? Like Chris Columbus was like wrangling kids, and all that fun stuff, and the director for Azkaban, he helped take it into a more mature tone. John, man, how do you feel about the directing of Harry Potter? If you can comment on that. Obviously, David Yates directed the last.
David Yates directed the last 4 Harry Potter films, and he directed the Fantastic Beasts films.
So yeah, like how do you feel about the directing style of the Potter films?
The directing, I would say the directing is good all the way out, except for the 4th movie. I really don't like the 4th movie.
So
the director, I think, is part of the reason why.
The 4th movie, I like the 4th movie, and that being said, I do know it's vastly, there are a lot of vastly different things. So let me ask you this, Jumpman. What do you not like about the 4th movie?
Well, it might not actually be the director. It might be just more like the editing, because it would jump. There was a lot of weird time jumps that you'd get.
I agree.
The first one that comes to mind is going to the Quidditch World Cup. Like, we don't actually get to see the game happen. It's like we immediately skip the entire game and go straight back to the end of the game, or they're just celebrating. And that's one example. So editing is there's a lot of that in the 4th movie. The other issue I have is the Triwizard Tournament itself. Like, it's kind of funny because the first task they went beyond what was described in the book. Then the second task, it was about the same with the book. And then the third task was such a disappointment.
There was so much stuff like the Sphinx or whatever and all that fun stuff. Like
Upside Down, Golden Mist, something like that. Blasted Scroots, we don't get to see that. The Mentor in the Maze.
So, so for me personally, like I said, I love the 4th movie. And here's why I love the 4th movie. Okay, and Jumpman, this might be a redeeming quality for you. So Voldemort isn't book accurate, like the description of Voldemort, right?
No, that didn't bother me. Voldemort's appearance in the movie didn't bother me.
Okay, so having said that, though, I like. Okay, so this is a hot take. I like the movie version of Voldemort better than the book versions of Voldemort.
Yeah,
that's just my opinion, and the reason why is just because he's less like in the book he kind of comes across as mustache twirling sometimes, and in the movies it's like Ray finds he's kind of scary, right? Because he doesn't have the nose, which he doesn't have the nose in the book, but his eyes are like kind of like a piercing ice blue, which makes him just like kind of like it's really eerie because he's like human, but then he's like. I don't know. It's just really. I think it's really cool visually what they did with him in the 4th movie going forward. But I really love that scene.
I would say it's the appearance of Voldemort didn't bother me as much as wondering why the hair on every character is so long.
Oh yeah.
Why is everyone's hair so long? And
I kept wondering. It was a long hair phase.
Well,
in the in the 4th movie, everyone had long hair for some reason. Then the 5th movie, their hair was too short.
I know.
Yeah.
And then the 6th movie, they got it just right. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I don't know what was up with that.
They finally got the hair right in the 6th movie. Like, so for me, like, okay. We're gonna skip around here. Order of the Phoenix. Actually, no, we're gonna go over Order of the Phoenix. So we talked about, the epic. There's the epic scene, with Dumbledore and Voldemort. For me, Harry. Okay, this is just me personally. Harry comes across as kind of like a jerk, to put it lightly, in the 5th book and in the 5th movie. That's
Yeah.
just
For sure.
that's just my opinion. Jumpman, how do you feel about that?
I don't know if I really got that out of the 5th movie of him being a jerk. Well, I guess I kind of see what you're saying, but I never really got that.
I don't know. Like in the book, I'm just like, Harry, what are you doing, man? And like him and Ron are just arguing, and things like
Yeah.
that. So, but I mean, I don't know. I get it. Like Harry, he's a teenager. He's 15 or whatever, and it's like
Rebellious stage.
Sure, but then in the 4th book he's so cool, and in the 6th book he's so cool. So then it's just like this 1 year he just had like an off year, or like was just really stressed out. Like I don't know.
I think it's really just everyone thinks Harry's a liar. So
yeah.
So Harry is just really on edge.
Yeah, because remember this did happen after Voldemort
Sirius Black
returned. Yeah, well, Sirius Black died at the end, but this is like they're calling Harry a liar because they're not accepting the fact that Voldemort is back. And on top of that, during the chapters in the movie as well, during the chapters in the movie of him fighting back against the Dementors, he was also in trouble for that. So there's a lot of like everybody is against Harry at this point, and nobody's on his side, and he feels like everybody's just against him. So I kind of feel that the reason why he acted such an asshole is because of that reason. Like everybody's just against him.
Visually, like I totally agree with what you guys are saying. I think also the visual tone of the movie was a little bit more somber.
Mhm.
I mean, really with Prisoner of Azkaban, it got really somber, but like, I think Order of the Phoenix, like it was just like, wow, and there were some bright like snowy parts, and there's some Cho Chang like romance and all that fun stuff. So moving forward, Jumpman, Half-Blood Prince, the movie, how do you feel?
I liked it overall. It definitely was a little more comical than I expected.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed that. Let's see here, the Felix Felicis, like that whole thing with Harry, that was hilarious. I was just laughing the entire way through when Harry drank the Felix Felicis potion.
Half-Blood Prince, this is the one where like Dumbledore is really mentoring Harry. He's preparing him for the battle to come.
Yeah.
Doing all this fun stuff.
The Horcrux scene.
Yeah, so Half-Blood Prince has a lot of like. There's really no like. It's very lean. There's no wasted time in the book or really even the movie at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's really not much filler, and so I appreciate that. Malfoy, I love that. Like Malfoy gets a little bit of kind of a. I don't know, it's like he gets something to do. For those of you who haven't, I mean, obviously it's been over 10 plus years. So if you haven't seen the movie by now, if you don't know.
He got, in my opinion, he got to experience how it felt to be a dark wizard. Kind of.
Well, for me, like it was like Malfoy's like, oh, this is real. Like, yeah. Like this is real, and like people are getting hurt, and like you know what I mean, like the gravity of it. I felt like he felt in the Half-Blood Prince. I felt like he kind of really felt the gravity of it. Whereas in the other books and the other movies, he's kind of like a sniveling, arrogant. Not saying that he's not arrogant in Half-Blood Prince, but like, I don't know. I just feel like there's a little bit of an development with this character. Jumpman, how do you feel about what I just said? Sorry, we're going to say JD?
I was going to say that in this movie, his choices has consequences, and he saw those consequences.
Interesting, yeah. Jumpman, how do you feel about Malfoy in the 6th movie / book?
I would say there was a little more sympathy. I feel like Malfoy got the most character development in the 6th and 7th books.
Yes, yeah, I would agree with that.
Mhm.
So speaking of character development, Snape. Now the books and the movies kind of portray Snape a little bit differently, in the sense that, okay. This could have just been the audio recording because I listened to them and I also read them, But Snape, this is the thing about Snape. Okay, we all know what happens to Snape, but he's kind of like, once again, kind of like a jerk the whole time up until the point he dies to Harry. I don't know. Like it felt weird to me. Jumpman, how do you feel?
I I didn't have I didn't have any issues with Snape. I thought Snape was done pretty accurately throughout.
I love the arc, like
Yeah,
of Snape,
yes,
like the character. Like he's my
yeah,
favorite arc in the whole entire series.
yeah, yeah. Seeing the twist in Half Blood Prince of him being the Half Blood Prince and Snape being part of Lord Voldemort's army, and then the double twist in the seventh book that he was actually the good guy this whole time, being a double agent, basically.
That like I love like the movies. We're gonna go into Deathly Hollows real quick after this, but like I love how the movies like the sixth book or the sixth movie. I love how it like portrays like all the stuff with Snape. Like the acting's really good. Daniel Radcliffe's angry. So moving forward, obviously the seventh book was split into two movies. I'm not okay. I'll just say it. I'm just going to bluntly say it. I'm not as big of a fan as the Deathly Hollows Part 1. I'm just not like for me. It was just a little like I don't. Okay, what's the word without everyone hating me? It was a little boring sometimes. I don't know. That was just me.
It's the exact thing I was thinking.
Like, not that it was a bad movie. I just felt like I don't know. John Man, how do you feel about this seventh movie?
I liked part one and part two. I didn't feel like I was bored.
Yeah, it's not that I
I read the
hated
book already before seeing the movie.
Well, so I hadn't read the books. I'd watched the movie first, but like I don't know. I remember like being in the theater. Obviously, the theater midnight showing, everybody was hyped and all that stuff. But I don't know. I
think for part one, it was mainly because we were expecting so much, but got so little.
Yeah, I can see that.
Well,
I mean, like I
already read the book prior, so I knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Having said that, I am actually glad. I understand why they split the last two into two movies. Started kind of a weird trend, but I understand why they did it. You know what I mean? The eighth movie. Jumpman, how do you feel about the eighth movie?
Again, I enjoyed it. Actually, the climax with Harry and Voldemort, I thought was done better in the movie than in the book.
I can agree with that. Yes, 100%. The book for me, like after knowing what happened, having watched the movie first, the book was so anticlimactic.
Yeah,
for me, I'm like, wait, what? Like, what's going on? Like the movie, like there's so much visual pizzazziness. I don't know, and yeah, I really like the second movie, or the second movie,
the second part.
The second part, yeah, it was really good. We're gonna say.
Another thing that I liked about Deathly Hallows movie over the book was that I felt less confused about the ownership of the Elder Wand.
Yes,
because when reading the book, because you're reading a lengthy book, it's kind of hard to keep track of who had the ownership of the wand. Why did Harry end up becoming the owner of the wand? It was a little confusing, but seeing it on the movie screen made it more clearer.
Yes,
to see it
100%.
versus reading it.
100%.
So
kind of wrapping up that Jumpman. Maybe you can, maybe you can't, maybe you haven't thought about this. Can you rank the movies for us?
Oh,
from your least favorite to your most favorite.
Well, I can tell you my least favorite movie is Goblet of Fire. That's a solid. The rest of the films, that it would be really hard for me to rank. Chamber of Secrets was really good. I
It
will
was
say
really
that.
good. It was really good.
Yeah. Or Half Blood Prince. Ah, man. Half Blood Prince might be my favorite movie. It's
Yeah,
hard for
same
me to pick
here. I
one.
don't know. It's tough. Either Chamber of
Yeah,
Secrets or Half Blood for me.
Half Blood Prince. There was just a lot in it, and so it's whenever I ask someone what their favorite Harry Potter movie was, that was usually their answer because a lot happened to that movie,
Mhm.
and a lot of
Yeah.
progression was made in that movie as well.
I have to
Yeah.
agree.
So the other thing is, I noticed like the acting with the main three. The acting's pretty consistent with the adults, but with the main three characters, like it progressively gets better, and obviously because they're kids and they're you know
They're
they're getting their,
growing and getting more experience.
yeah, exactly, yeah, they're getting their chops up. But one thing that's cool though about that, like the cool about like them growing is it's weird because it's weird, like literally growing up, like watching these movies, and then the characters and the people are growing up too in the movies. Like I don't know, like Jumpman, how did that affect you? That experience of like Harry's a kid, you're a kid, and then like you're growing together.
Um, I would say that definitely helped with my fanatic devotion. I guess I would say.
Aren't you and Daniel Radcliffe like about the same age, right?
Yeah, because the first Harry Potter movie, like the character Harry Potter is 11 years old, and I wasn't. I think I was 12 when the first Harry Potter movie came out.
Wow.
So, but yeah, and then by the time Deathly Hallows came out, though, I was already 18. No, no, I was 20. I was 20 when Deathly Hallows or 21 when Deathly Hallows Part 2 came out, I think.
Wow. Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's just absolutely crazy. So
But
so wrapping up that portion. Now let me ask you this, Jumpman. So maybe Nameless One remembers this, maybe JD remembers this, but like, do you remember all the crazy merch that came out during like the early films? The candy, the figurines,
yes,
and all that
30
crazy
box
stuff.
every flavored beans.
You can still get them.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
you
still
can
get
you,
those.
you can
You
still
can
get
find
them. You definitely can still get them, but it wasn't like I don't know how to describe it. It's like you're there in the movie theater, like, and you're watching this movie as like a 10-year-old, and then you're getting the beans and you're eating them. I don't know. It's just like that tactile experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
Like obviously, like okay, so like you can go to Universal Studios, you can get a butter beer, and you can get all the candy and all that fun stuff. So speaking of which, Jumpman. Oh, look at that!
Look at that. Yeah, I remember those boxes.
See, no, but I remember like they came in like a little bag, like like a purple bag or a blue bag or whatever.
Yeah, originally they did. Yeah,
And then I remember the chocolate covered frogs. Like I didn't want to eat them because I thought there was like a real frog.
Yeah, I thought the exact same thing too.
Yeah.
But you were okay with vomit flavored beans.
I was okay with the vomit flavored beans. I just didn't want to eat a real frog. I didn't want the frog to jump out.
Vomit's okay. Frogs, no.
Yeah. Hey, you know what else was good? They had like it was like a ball thing, and it was chocolate on the outside, and on the inside it was like little candies. That was good too. There was a lot of good Harry Potter candy. So Jumpman, when are you going to Universal Studios to when are we doing it? Doing the Harry Potter thing,
Oh, I would love to go to Universal Studios and see the Harry Potter amusement park. And the Nintendo amusement park is right next door.
That's
and I'm a
right.
Mario
That's
fan.
right. So you, me, and JD are gonna have to plan a trip.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like
I'll bring my wand.
I've actually been to that place before. The Universal Studios.
Usually when we're gonna say Nameless Man, your experience with that.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say that when I was there, I think it also has it in, I don't remember where else, but I have tasted the supposedly butterbeer somewhere, and it relates it to the actual show, and it's like really really good.
So, the butterbeer, Jumpman, have you ever had butterbeer? I'm just curious.
No.
JD?
I had it both at the park and it used to come in like a bottle.
So I've had the bottle one, and it just kind of tastes like
Butterscotch.
no.
soda.
You know what it tastes like? It tastes like okay, in the movies, it's like really foamy and almost like the viscosity is like very. It looks like it would be liquid butterscotch, but the actual butterbeer has a more mild flavor. That was just my experience, though.
Really? It
Yeah.
tastes like butterscotch to me, but
That's
frozen
interesting.
butterscotch soda to me.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's definitely like that flavor in there, but it was just, I don't know, I was just expecting it to be more strong, the flavor to be a little bit more strong. I don't know. That's just me, though.
Well, now since we're all adults here, we could get the adult version.
Is there an adult version?
There is an adult version.
Wow.
I don't know which park has it, but I know for sure it has an adult version.
I mean, even though I'm an adult, I'm not 21 yet, so I can't really drink any like.
Sorry, nameless.
Beverages.
I'll tell you what's good, dude, is like they have all kinds of like at Universal Studios they have all kinds of like they have Simpsons drinks, they have like food from like all these different shows and stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah. For
They
sure.
have all these fun restaurants. Yeah. Did you say Voodoo Donut is what you said?
No, the Simpsons donut. The
Simpsons
one.
donut. Yeah. They also have a Voodoo Donut there too. So it's just like even if you just go to City Walk, if you don't even go inside the actual like Universal Studios, just City Walk is like a day by itself almost.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I haven't been to Hollywood Universal Studios. I've been to Orlando Universal Studios.
Oh,
that one's big.
See, I've been to the Hollywood one. I haven't been to the Orlando one.
The Orlando one is 2 parks. So basically, what happens is that with the Orlando one, you take the Hogwarts Express back and forth between Hogsmeade and Diagon Alley.
Well, we need to do both. We need to like experience both of them.
Yeah. Let me show you guys. If you guys are watching on the YouTubes, this right here is the map. And if you guys can see here, this is Diagon Alley. If you guys see here.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it a little bit.
This is right here, Hogsmeade.
So we are going to be wrapping up the podcast relatively soon. Jumpman, do you have any merch that you want to show the YouTubers? Obviously, if you're listening on Spotify, you can't...
Oh, yeah. Let's see. I got like a whole shelf. Got to take this camera with me.
JD's got his wand out. JD, tell us about the wand while Jumpman's getting set up.
So this wand right here is basically the one you get at the theme park. And they have so much. They have like all of the Harry's wand, Ron, Hermione, Dumbledore, and like all of like the characters' wands. But they also have the wands that doesn't belong to anybody. And again, like Ollivander said, the wand chooses the wizard, and this one chose me.
That's really cool. That is amazing, JD. Jumpman, you have like a literal shrine going on here.
Yeah.
That is crazy, dude. Is that Tom Riddle's ring, or what is that? Oh, we lost JD. We lost, what's his name? Jumpman.
We lost Jumpman.
Uh-oh.
He's like, he's like, Tom Riddle's ring. Like, I gotta go.
Oh, whoops.
They know I have it. Wow. So for those of you who are listening real quick, feel free to jump on Discord. Feel free to, give us some feedback too, as well. Let us know that you're listening or whatever. Just let us know what your thoughts on the podcast are. We're always looking to improve. We got Jumpman back. He is back here. All right, Jumpman, let's talk about your shrine.
Okay. Sorry,
Okay. We lost Jumpman again, guys.
It's the curse of Tom Riddle's ring.
It's literally the curse of the diary and the ring.
Oh.
Like he's got so much. He's got a basilisk fang in there. It's so. But anyways, guys, look. So if you don't, in case you didn't know, yeah, the Void. We got big plans, guys. We got big plans coming up. We're doing a lot of fun stuff with the podcast. We're doing a lot of fun stuff with everything, and we're expanding. we just hit 40,000 members in our Discord server.
Woo!
So for those of you, I mean, we're growing.
Okay.
That's just one of our Discord servers. We also have the Void 2 and the Void 3 as well, which you guys can check out. But yeah,
hey, Jumpman, you back? You back
Yeah,
for good?
okay, Jumpman, no worries.
Oh.
Okay, listen, guys.
Technical difficulties.
Okay, well, the podcast is about to end. We are gonna bring, once Jumpman comes back, we're gonna do some closing thoughts here. But yeah, Harry Potter, guys, this has been a doozy. It's been a long one. JD, you can meet any Harry Potter actor in the world. Who would you meet, other than Daniel Radcliffe?
There we go.
Oh man.
Living or dead, like living or dead. You can meet anybody.
Living or dead? Oh man, that's hard. There's a lot of people I'd like to meet.
Dude, for me, it'd be definitely Alan Rickman.
Yeah.
Nameless, what about you?
I was thinking either Gandalf, because I don't know.
No, I'm saying like any Harry Potter actor.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I don't know their exact names, but
You can say the character name.
yeah, I think I'd either meet the main character Harry Potter or the guy who plays Snape.
Yeah, Daniel Radcliffe, and then Alan Rickman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jumpman, if you could meet any Harry Potter actor, living or deceased, who would you meet? I chose Alan Rickman.
Man, living or deceased. Jeez. I don't know. I don't know. I would just like to meet Daniel Radcliffe.
Okay, if I can't meet Daniel Radcliffe, the next best person would probably be Gary Oldman.
Oh yeah,
Gary Oldman.
Yeah, Gary Oldman's a good
not
choice.
Severus. Serious. God,
yeah.
why am I blanking on names?
No, it's okay.
Sirius Black.
Yeah, honestly, like, yeah,
Mhm.
it's just sad, just so sad. A lot of Harry Potter actors are just.
Okay, there you go. That's the closing statement. Is showing all the memorabilia right here.
Yeah.
All the memorabilia. Jumpman, tell us about the memorabilia.
So we got Sorcerer's Stone right here. Got like a nice stand.
Oh, I thought that was the ring. Okay, that's the stone. Okay,
No, it's a Sorcerer's Stone.
it's a little blurry on my end.
Or for the UK audience, Philosopher's Stone.
Philosopher's Stone, right? Let's see here. Okay, there we go. Hedwig.
Okay, Hedwig.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going shelf down. Got the Felix Felicis potion.
Did you drink it or what?
No.
Is there
there's no
liquid in there?
No, there's no liquid in there. It's It's a bottle. It actually says Felix Felicis on the bottle.
That is hilarious.
You know, it's got
Okay.
a little fork that.
Is that the snitch or is that the time turner? I can't tell in the next one.
Time Turner.
Oh, time turner.
Yeah.
There's the ring.
Tom Riddle's ring.
There you go. Didn't that belong to his mother? If I remember correctly.
I think it originally belonged to the Gaunt family, didn't it?
Yeah, it
Yes.
belonged to the Gaunt family, and it was passed down.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, guys, look, Jumpman, closing statements. JD and there's the Goblet of Fire. Jumpman literally has the Sword of Godric Gryffindor. Like,
Oh yeah.
I need to look for a replica. I'm looking one up right now.
yeah, I think JD, you definitely need to get look at that. Look, that's crazy.
I'm going to see how much a replica costs.
That is insane, dude. That is literally insane.
Oh my god.
So, anyways, guys, we got to wrap it up. Listen, guys, this is the Void Playground. Jumpman, closing statements.
Let's. I don't really have a closing statement. Maybe we just make the last word Scar.
There we go.
I don't know.
Nameless one, closing statements.
I don't know.
JD, closing statements.
I don't. Oh God.
Okay,
so bad. Bye everybody.
So,
see you guys next episode.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next episode. Obviously the relevant links are going to be where they need to be. Comment if you want to see more Jumpman. Okay, we'll see you guys.
Yes.